Relatively unknown before the pandemic, but the country's most senior doctor became an almost constant presence in our lives through the crisis.
Once more, we must all stay home.
But becoming the government's medical voice brought its own risks. Professor Sir Chris Whitty attacked as he walked through a central London park in June 2021.
The level of abuse and, in some cases, threat to people who volunteered their time is an extremely concerning one.
This first part of the inquiry will not investigate the government's response to the pandemic, but in Sir Chris's evidence, the difficulties between politicians and their scientific advisors was laid bare.
If you go to the top range of mortality, how can we actually get that down? And is society prepared to pay the price to get that down? And I think that was in a sense, the leap of imagination I think we had not fully made.
There was no open or extensive consideration of these issues about transmission.
This illustrates a failure in the way we generally operate in government to deal with emergencies, which is to say we need to have a plan for every eventuality, and if you can just pull off the plan, you can tick off all the things you've got to do, that's going to work.
As the government's chief scientific advisor, Sir Patrick Vallance, enjoyed the same high profile and the same challenges.
There was a paucity of data, which meant, and I say this in my statement, that in many occasions it meant that you were flying more blind than you would wish to.
We'd been together for 11 years.
Listening to the two scientists was Fran. She lost her husband Steve to COVID in October 2020. They had been married for just 3 weeks.
It's hard for bereaved families listening to it, listening to the evidence, sitting in the hearing room, seeing the people that were responsible for taking us to where we are, yeah.
Today we began to understand a little more about the tensions that would have existed between the government and its own advisors. We'll learn much more when the next phase of the module begins in the autumn. But we might not have to wait that long. Next week, the former Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, takes the stand. Ashish Joshi, Sky News, at the COVID inquiry.